Let's welcome Miss Sanah Sharma, who is a sustainable fashion designer. Her philosophy is to promote the cause of environment and be socially responsible. Even her clothing tagline is also "Don't wear out the future." In 2014, Sanah created her own technique of cutting called planar flex. Sanah is breaking myths associated with sustainable fashion in global conversation. She has received various accolades from the leading fashion brands and collaborators. Sanah Sharma clothing label is also a registered initiative part of the UN SDGs platform, an illustrious career indeed. It's an absolute pleasure to have you with us, Sanah. Thank you for taking the time out to inspire our young students to connect, explore, and create. I have with me Ms. Diya Rao of TSUS Hyderabad and Anoushka Sarkar of TKS Pune, the students of grade 9, who ask questions to Ms. Sanah. So, what we are waiting for? Over to Sanah, Diya, and Anoushka.
Thank you so much, Shweta ma'am. Such a lovely introduction. I'm so happy to be here, and I think it's the first time I'm interacting with such a young group. So I'm really looking forward to this. Who comment made. So I get to.
My name is Diya Rao. I'm in 9th grade from the Shri Educare Universal School. The first question I would like to ask you is, ma'am, according to you, what is sustainable fashion?
Hi Diya, very nice to meet you. Sustainable fashion, well, okay, let's remove the fashion bit from it. Let's talk about sustainability because it's a concept, right? So we can extend it to any industry. So sustainability is just a state of being conscious, being responsible of whatever you are doing. So if you are buying something, can you be responsible for what you're buying? Can you be conscious and aware of how was this made and what were the impacts of this? And if you are producing, like me, I'm a maker, right? So can I be responsible for what I'm making? And can I do it with a certain kind of accountability? Can I do it with a state of consciousness about how this is impacting people? So sustainability is about how are you impacting everything around you. So it means how you're impacting people, how you're impacting the planet, right? How you're impacting culture, how you're impacting economy. So if you extend that into fashion, then it means maybe how are we going to be following fair trade practices? How are we impacting artisans, craftspeople, right? And how are we impacting the environment? Are they, what are the greenhouse emissions like? So it extends, basically the concept remains the same, and you can just extend it to any industry.
Yeah, so namaste ma'am. So let me start by saying I'm really inspired by your passion to create a greener planet through your designs. So which experiences from your school life do you think helped you develop your personality and your interest in fashion designing?
I was a very shy child in school, and I was absolutely a contrast in my college. So I'll tell you why. Because I was not comfortable in that space of being extremely academic. I liked playing, I liked sport, I liked art. So when I would go for those classes, I would be in my element. I would be having fun, and my teachers would know my name. They would know everything that I'm doing because I was good at it. So fortunately for me, I had fashion studies in my high school. So I had already, I think I was 12 when I started making clothes by hand sewing them for my dolls. And I already knew that I enjoyed this career path would be something that I should look at. But once I started, studying about it in high school, it sort of gave me the impetus to actually go for it, to say that, yeah, I don't want to do engineering, I don't want to do all of that, I want to do fashion design. So that was like a huge turning point, I would say, from where my career took off.
Wow, that's really interesting. So I also saw on your Instagram how you pioneered the planar flux technique. So how has technology helped you with your profession?
I think now more than ever we are relying on technology. So planar flux is basically a concept which uses maths and science. But now what we're doing is that we have found a way to create virtual garments. So just recently we launched an entire collection that we're dropping, as the days go, we're dropping one garment after the other, and these are garments that are made on a software. So this is, of course, an industry certified software, like it's a credible software. So we know that it's a very true to life representation. And what we're doing is that we have not had to make this product. So there is zero investment in terms of product development apart from just the software. And we're using the software to do various things, like we can now make a person within this virtual environment dance wearing those clothes, do things, do acrobatic stunts, do whatever we want them to also test how the garment performs if someone is going to dance in it, right? So that's all thanks to the tech that goes behind it. So I feel like in the future we will be relying more and more on fashion, on tech-based fashion. So even from the point of view of textiles, right? So the two things that are very important to understand are the things that go inside your body and the things that are on your body. So the food you eat and the clothes you wear, they have a very, very direct impact on your well-being. Right, so the kind of fabrics that we're seeing, the kind of textile innovation in terms of making them antimicrobial, so we're exploring those concepts as well. So tech has penetrated, I would say, every aspect of the industry right now, and it's in a good way. It's a healthy sort of reliance on tech.
So was there any influence of your family member or acquaintance while career planning?
I think I was surrounded by a lot of people who were fond of fashion, but no one who was in the business of fashion. So my grandmother is 80 plus, and even today, if you say that, let's go out to the market or the bazaar, she will be like, okay, let me grab my matching handbag and matching chappal. So this was like, I had this all around me, but from a career perspective, it was more of my own calling, my own inner calling. But having said that, I feel like the people around us impact, our choices. So even though I chose a career in fashion, what I am doing with my work in fashion may be influenced by what my surroundings were, right? So I was raised by my father, who's an interior designer, and my mom, who is a child psychologist. So those aspects of aesthetics, of empathy, those things sort of, they seep through into your subconscious and they become who you are. So you're going to make choices that you think are your own, but are actually being, they're basically influenced by what you have seen or what you have experienced around yourself.
So that's great. So in this volatile and uncertain world, we are all curious to know, so what are 3 aspects of your job that will change in a space of 10 years from now?
What I would like for it to change to would be, of course, more tech. And I mean tech that can help us solve problems. Today, look at us. We all wear clothes. Okay, at all times we are dressed, right? So clothes need to get smarter, right? So can your t-shirt tell you what your body temperature is? Can it help you regulate your body temperature? Can it tell you that okay, your sugar level is dropping? Can it do things like that for you? So can clothes become smart that way? Just like how you have, your phones and things, your devices that are on. A garment is your most personal connection. I mean, from the day that you are born, you are wrapped in a cloth, right? So it's a very fascinating connection that you have with clothes. So if we can, take that connection, if we can amplify that, if we can work on bridging that as, a way of leading a healthier life, that would be something that I'm hoping to see in the future. And also in terms of, I think, the way that we perceive the industry, like, it's this, we have this whole garb of glamour associated with it, but we still have a lot of, there's a lot of discrepancy that also happens. There's a lot of disproportionate sharing of wealth that happens within the industry. So I'm hoping that those things will improve as well. So I would like, what would be really great, I had a tailor once who told me that you should have a door at the unit where the stitching and the making actually happen, because people shouldn't see how it's made. And I was like, see, this is how people think. This is how she is making those clothes. She doesn't want people to know she's making them, right? So we need to remove those barriers. And I have very completely contrast opinion of how things should be. I want a space where people can come in, sit and watch us make the entire garment for them, right? No, it is okay. I mean, yeah, I think that there's beauty in that, right?
So that's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. So, what suggestions would you like to give us young learners who are interested in fashion designing?
I'd say get more aware of it. Get aware of what is important, what is required in the industry today. Don't just be one more fashion designer. Okay, so try to understand what is the pulse, what's the industry wanting. We have a huge issue of unsustainability within the industry. Okay, so fashion is the second most polluting industry in the world, second to only oil. So you are young people, right? You are energetic minds. So think of bridging those gaps. Look at people who are real sources of inspiration. Find what you like, mix things together. You know how you mix two mediums of paint, mix two industries, see what you like. So keep your mind open, keep that perspective of I'm a glass half empty and I have scope to become full.
Ma'am, I have a few rapid fire questions which I want you to answer very quick. So the first one is, what is on your playlist?
Okay, I listen to a lot of instrumental classical piano, so a lot of Ludovico Einaudi, a lot of Claude Debussy. I also like, my recent favorite is Ali Sethi. So if any of you have heard him, you should check him out. You should. So yeah, that's music.
The second one is, what is that one habit that you're trying to improve?
I'm trying to not overwork, because I think it's not something to glorify at all, and I'm very embarrassed to say that I work very long hours, and it's not a good thing.
The next question, one book you would recommend every middle schooler to read?
I would recommend all of you to read a book called Oxygen Manifesto. It's by an Indian IAS officer. His name is Atulya Mishra. So it's a very good book, especially from an environment and sustainability point of view. Also to understand how leaders should be.
I will be sure to check it out.
The next question, who is your role model?
I think my mentor, Julian Roberts, he taught me more than just fashion. He taught me life, and I'm so forever grateful for that.
Yes, ma'am. And the last question is, what is your favorite quote?
Okay, I have a couple actually that I want to share with you guys. So the first would be, so every person has two lives, and the second begins when you realize you have only one. Okay, so it's very profound. So it's basically you should understand that this is your one chance of making things good and better. So use it. And the second would be that, more like a follow up to that. You can edit a bad page, but you can't edit a blank page. So you have to start somewhere.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am. So, should we take some audience questions? Does anyone have any questions from the audience?
Yeah, Atulya Mishra is the author. Yeah, he's an IAS officer. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Over to Dia.
Yes, I would like to say the vote of thanks right now. Ma'am, it has been an absolute pleasure interviewing you today. I'm sure all of us have learned a lot and would take it forward in our careers as we progress. Thank you for my school for providing this valuable opportunity. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. It was a great opportunity.
It's such a pleasure to be interacting with all of you. And if any of you do have an interest in fashion and are inclined towards it, you can definitely reach out to me. Shweta ma'am will give you my email address. Please do share it. And, my doors are open for any of you who want to check in, who want to see what happens in the life of a fashion designer.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sanah, for this insightful session and for inspiring each one of us. I'm sure